All right, today we're diving into a report that really flips the script on how we look at Southern Africa. It's called Where the Smart Money Goes, and its whole argument is that the region isn't about some far-off future potential, it's about a huge transformation that's happening right now. Let's dig in and see what that actually looks like.
This quote pretty much says it all, doesn't it? For so long, the story has been that Africa's big moment is always just around the corner. But the central idea here is, no, forget that. The most important shifts aren't coming. They are already here.
So where's the proof? Where is this change most obvious? Well, the first big area is what the report calls the digital leapfrog. It's this idea that technology is letting the region just jump over entire stages of development. Think about skipping landlines and going straight to mobile phones. That same idea is now happening in pretty much every single sector.
Just look at the fintech revolution. For the average person, this is creating real, tangible change in their daily lives. Mobile payments are making it cheaper and way safer to send and receive money. InsurTech is making things like health and life insurance accessible to millions for the very first time. You've got peer-to-peer lending stepping in where traditional banks won't, giving small businesses a real fighting chance. And things like conversational commerce? That means you can pretty much run your entire business just through an app like WhatsApp. It's a game changer.
And listen, these aren't just abstract trends. There are real companies on the ground leading the charge. You have Makuru and Mama Money making it simple to send money across borders. You have Naked Insurance using AI to completely shake up a super old-school industry. And Lulaland is pumping vital cash into small and medium-sized businesses. These are the names that are literally building a new financial infrastructure from the ground up.
And if you need any proof that the rest of the world is paying attention, just look at this number. $150 million. Let that sink in. That is the amount of money the Brazilian fintech giant Nubank poured into South Africa's Time Group. That's not just capital, my friends. That is a massive vote of confidence from one emerging market leader to another.
But this digital leapfrog isn't just about money. It's also about saving lives. Health tech is tackling one of the region's oldest and biggest challenges, distance. Virtual consultations through platforms like Hello Doctor mean you no longer have to travel for hours just to see a doctor. Mobile clinics are literally bringing healthcare to people's doorsteps. And get this, smart ambulances are turning travel time into treatment time, with paramedics connected to the hospital in real time.
The way EdTech is being used here is also really smart and, well, unique. The goal isn't to replace teachers with some robot or algorithm, not at all. It's about empowering them. Technology is being used as a helper to automate paperwork, to provide better digital resources, which frees up teachers to do what only they can do: teach, inspire, and connect with their students.
Okay, so we've seen the digital transformation, which is incredible. But what about the physical world? The buildings, the power grids? Well, the report's second major theme shows that the region is building its future with sustainability and resilience baked right in from the very beginning.
And the contrast, especially in the energy sector, is just night and day. The old way was all about depending on coal with a centralized, often unreliable, state-owned power grid. The new way? It's all about embracing the region's incredible solar and wind resources, opening the door for independent power producers, and using green financing to build an energy future that is way more secure and sustainable. And again, this isn't just talk. The commitment is real, and the scale is massive. South Africa's latest push for renewables is targeting 5,000 megawatts of new capacity from just wind and solar alone. That is a huge step towards making that green future a reality.
This sustainable mindset is also changing one of the region's most important sectors, agriculture. The farm of the future is basically here. We're talking about drones in the sky providing pinpoint data for crops, GPS chips on livestock to protect them from theft, and even blockchain to make the supply chain totally transparent. And you have platforms like SwiftV, which are digitizing livestock auctions that have been done the same way for centuries, opening up huge new markets for farmers.
Now, what about where people actually live? The report points out a bit of a bottleneck in real estate. In some places, the market has become saturated with things like shopping malls. So the next frontier isn't just about building more stuff, it's about building smarter and more sustainably.
And the demand for this kind of living? It's absolutely exploding. The African smart home market is projected to skyrocket to over $8.6 billion by 2030. That's up from just over $2 billion in 2023. This shows a massive appetite for homes that aren't just connected, but are also energy efficient, secure, and truly built for the future.
Okay, this final theme is fascinating because it focuses on something that traditional economic models often miss: culture. The report makes a powerful case that community and creativity are becoming serious economic engines. In this new landscape, culture really is the new capital.
The township economy is a perfect example of what this means. It's so much more than just a collection of small shops. It's a complex, living, breathing ecosystem. You've got retail, services, informal finance groups called stockvols, food distribution, transport. It all feeds into each other. This creates a really resilient local economy that represents a huge and often underestimated market that's just right for investment and new technology.
Tourism is getting a major rethink too. It's moving away from the old generic packages and towards these really specialized experiences. Today's travelers want ecotourism that actually helps conservation. They want deep cultural immersions. They want wellness retreats and unique adventures. The key takeaway here is that value is shifting away from just volume and toward quality and authenticity.
The sports and entertainment market tells a really interesting, nuanced story. On the one hand, you have massive, sustainable growth in areas like live events and sponsorships. But on the other hand, the report warns people to be a little cautious about the sports betting market, suggesting it might be better to build long-term value instead of chasing what could be a volatile, short-term bubble. So what does this all add up to? When you put all these pieces together, what do you get? The report concludes with what it calls the smart money thesis. And really, it's an invitation to stop seeing the region through old, outdated lenses, and instead see it as it is today, a place of absolutely immense opportunity. And here it is. This might be the single most important takeaway from the whole thing. To succeed in this new economy, it's not enough to just write a big check. The biggest and best opportunities demand something much more valuable: contextual intelligence. That means a deep, on-the-ground understanding of the local culture, the local needs, and the local realities. So, let's end exactly where we began. This isn't a prediction or a forecast. It is a statement of fact. From fintech and green energy to cultural exports, the rise is not somewhere on the horizon. It is already happening, right now, as we speak. Which really just leaves us with one final and I think pretty powerful question. The transformation is happening. The opportunities are very real. So the only question left to ask is, will you be a part of it